Greetings, class. I wanted to make a tutorial video to help you with the week 3 formative assessment. And so for the week 3, you'll find the template listed here under week 3. You'll drop it in the week 3 Dropbox right here, and you'll find information about the build an atom simulation right underneath the formative assessment. Underneath here is where you'll find the videos. So I'm going to post this video. Each week, I want to do a video just to go over what you're doing for the lab for that particular week, right? And so what I want to do is I want to start with looking at the periodic table. And so I have one up here so that you can see it. In the periodic table, and yours may look a little different than this, but this is large numbers so that you can see what I'm going over. The first part of your lab assessment worksheet, you'll talk about the atom, the nucleus, and in the nucleus are your protons and neutrons. And then outside the nucleus and the electron cloud are your electrons. Your protons have a positive charge, electrons are negative, and neutrons are neutral. So that was part one. So part two talks about how you determine your protons, your neutrons, and electrons. So I do want to go over that. There are two numbers for each element in the periodic table. One is the atomic number, and generally for most periodic tables, that atomic number is the number that's listed at top. The other number that is in there is the atomic weight, and that number is typically listed at the bottom. For the atomic number, anytime you're doing calculations for protons, electrons, and neutrons, you do need to round this number to a whole number. So the atomic number is going to represent your number of protons, and your number of electrons. So protons and electrons. The atomic weight, when you round it to a whole number, then that number minus the atomic number will give you the number of neutrons, because the atomic weight represents the protons plus neutrons. So for this example with oxygen, you have 8 for your atomic number, which represents the 8 protons and 8 electrons. And then if we round this to a whole number, that would be 16. And we take 16 minus 8, we get 8 for the number of neutrons. For this example, the number of protons, electrons, and neutrons are all equal to 8, but it doesn't always come out that way. One thing that I also want to mention is if the number of protons is not equal to the number of electrons, then you have a charge and this atom becomes an ion, okay? If the number of electrons is greater than the number of protons, then you have a negative charge. If the number of protons is greater than the number of electrons, then you have a positive charge. If they are equal, it is neutral. Okay, so that's what you'll be working on for part two. For part three, you're going to be using the simulation. So you're going to click the build an atom, and it'll come up like this. You're going to want to click on atom. And so you have your boxes that look like this, and it's similar to what you'll see in the template that you get. You want to click on each of these boxes so that you see everything. You see the element box, the net charge, and the mass number. So this is your protons down here. You can add protons, you can add neutrons, you can add electrons. As long as you put it somewhere in the circle, it will go where it needs to go. And as you see, this chart changes. Your element chart highlights the element that is represented. The net charge is shown, whether it's positive or negative, and the mass number is shown, okay? And so you can play around with it for a few minutes just so that you get familiar with what's going on. Then you want to look at your data sheet. You have the first 10 elements that are listed. You want to write their names, the atomic number, the mass number, and you want to go through the number of protons, neutrons, and electrons. So as you continue to add protons and neutrons, you see that the element changed. Also, the net charge changed. So you want to have a net charge of 0, and then you want to put what the number of protons, electrons, and neutrons are for that particular element. So you're going to do that for the first 10 elements. And then you're going to go into isotopes. And so for that one, you're going to look at the symbol, and you'll see this on your template that that's where you want to click to. And then there are directions for what to do for isotopes. And then finally, you're going to answer the questions at the end based on what you determined from this particular lab. If you have questions as you're going through the lab, please let me know. Have a great day.